Let's move on to my pick here, and that is Alphabet. Investors are cheering on Google's new announcements related to artificial intelligence, pushing the stock to levels we haven't seen since August of last year. Now, on Wednesday, Google announced it would integrate the technology into search, as well as its workplace tools like Google Docs. Wall Street analysts generally pleased with Google's plans, but they're a bit split on whether they think it's enough to give the company an advantage over rival Microsoft. We heard Oppenheimer saying the presentations yesterday largely quelled near-term investor angst over the lack of innovation compared to Microsoft to OpenAI. Wedbush's Dan Ives saying Google is still in major catch-up mode. So, guys, the question here moving into I.O. yesterday was what exactly the product would be they put forward. Still mixed, though, in terms of whether Google has the technology to compete with the likes of Microsoft.
Yeah, Akiko, I think overall, I was impressed by what they did announce, because the big criticism when it comes to Alphabet, when it comes to Google this year, has been that they're falling further and further behind in the AI race when you compare it to the strides that Microsoft has made specifically to over the last several months. So the fact that they did lay this out, I think, is certainly a step in the right direction. AI, though, guys, is really taking hold. I was just at the Goldman Sachs Industrial Conference yesterday, and it was the topic of almost every single fireside chat, every single interview I had there. So we talk about the future of AI, why it's so important for a company to bet on that. Obviously, it makes a heck of a lot of sense for Google, for Alphabet to play up their investment within this space.
And Alphabet has been dominant in that search space, right, too, which we've talked a lot about. That's where Microsoft wants to take this war as well, is in search. So you have to think that Alphabet is still well positioned here. It does make you wonder, though, just looking at the different street reaction you've seen over the past 24 hours, why did they have that presentation that they had in February when they maybe just weren't ready for it? It feels like when you watched yesterday, that felt like what you expected from Google in February, right? That's a Google event, and it was done really well, and people are now positive. So it feels like maybe they were a little bit behind as far as being ready for it, and ChatGPT took off quicker than maybe anyone anticipated, and so they sort of scrambled and put themselves behind here when really, in reality, I don't know if they were as far behind as it seemed in February. But only time will tell, right?
Yeah, we'll see if they have the last laugh.